Hello, welcome back to the Cutting Edge Review, and I am your reviewer, and I'm going to be doing the reviewing next Back to the Future Part 2. And this movie released in 1990. It had been the 80s were over. Um, they wanted to release the movie earlier, but it ended up like because of writing and all kinds of different stuff, trying to get Michael J. Fox, all the actors in there to do it again, and ended up coming out in 1990. And what we got is like another unforgettable movie. And this movie takes place. It's still 1985 in the Back to the Future we remember, which was released in 1985, but it's actually 1990, but it's still the 80s. So it has to be the 80s in order to do this because Marty McFly is from the 80s. So, anyways, they have he has to go back at the end of the last movie. He gets a received. He gets lost. Doc Emmett Brown and him have to go back and take care of his family timeline, basically his bloodline. So he has to go back again, this time into the future, into what it said in the movie 2000. And you guys remember that part with the Jaws, the 3D Jaws part? So he basically he has to his girlfriend goes back there and she has to not she can't see her her other self. I said her former self. She can't see her other self, or it could like Christopher Lloyd says, it could destroy the space-time continuum. And so it basically, she sees her other self. A chain reaction will destroy the universe. Basically, that's what it says. Like if you look at it, like I said, in a scientific standpoint, that might be actually true. And she can't tell herself information. She can't tell herself, oh well, this is me 10 or 20 or 25 years from now, as I am as an older person. So he has, and his Michael J. Fox gets to play himself as an older person on this movie. And you guys remember a lot of these iconic quotes on this movie are still to be found in this movie, because a lot of the elements of what people liked in this movie are still on this movie. Like he says, when Biff says, "Why don't you make like a tree and split?" Or nobody called me chicken. And it maintains the like what we loved about the first one, and it doesn't get too far off what we loved for the first one. So he has to save his parents. He has to save his dad from getting fired, and Doc Emmett Brown getting incarcerated. But what happens? Biff recovers the sports almanac, and what happens after that? He changes everything on every major sporting event. He has the winning number on there, and so it creates an alternate 1985. He goes back. He finds himself, but it seems more like you would after a riot or something, or like the economy went down in the 1930s, and that's what and Biff is basically he owns his beloved town on this movie, and he has to somehow get away from him before being killed. And then what happens? Biff killed his father on this movie, and it's supposedly, and so he has to change all this stuff from happening. He has to get his girlfriend back from year 2000. He has to make sure that his to get the sports almanac for Biff on this movie to stop from the alternate horrifying 1985 that he came to. So there's a lot of like I said, a lot of stuff going on in this movie, and Marty McFly and Doc have to fix all of it. And it's a lot of fun watching this movie. You get to see there's a lot of laughs on this movie. And you see Leah Thompson here older on this movie, and then they get to exploit her a little bit. And you know what I mean? And there's some scenes on here that, like I said, you didn't expect. They came up with these scenes at the last minute, I think. And a lot of the stuff. It's good times on this movie. I give this movie 5 stars because it's a winner. I give it a 10, and it's probably the last good Back to the Future movie. And I'm sure if they do plan on doing another one, and if I don't know if it would be a good idea to do it. Once Michael J. Fox is not in the picture, that Christopher Lloyd is not in the picture, even Leah Thompson, it's not going to be the same thing. It's not going to be like as we left it. I mean, we're in 2015, people. I don't know how they would do stuff like that. So I'm guessing they're going to do a reboot of the whole thing, the whole franchise. And like I said, so he at the end of this movie, you gotta keep your eyes on this movie, because once you can start watching this movie, it keeps you glued to the screen. And so he gets a DeLorean, and it happens to be another stormy night, like on the first movie. There's a stormy night that causes the electricity for enough wattage for the DeLorean to go back into 1985. And on this movie, the DeLorean actually, before he can go home with Doc Emmett Brown, because he's fighting with Biff to get the sports almanac, and that part where he disappears, he gets zapped into 1885. And I love the way they did this end of this movie, because, like I said, if I was directing this film, I would have done the same thing. And so he gets a letter from Doc Emmett Brown that's been left in the mail for a really long time. It's at 1885. At the exact moment, 1955, he gets a letter, and he finds out the Doc's in the Old West, and in Hill Valley in the 1885. So that's great movie making here. And I definitely, like I said, I consistently, every night that I watch this movie, it's like I said, it's a timeless classic. And this is the Cutting Edge Review, and I am your reviewer.